So after array, we'll be starting with another concept in C programming, which is string. Okay. Now, the general definition that you all aware with, right? What is string?
Ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt. Your screen
Yes.
is not visible, I think.
Just a minute. This is okay? Yes, Abhijit?
Ma'am, it is visible.
Okay. So we'll be starting with the next concept of C, which is string. Now again, string is also the derived type of data type in C programming language. So as we have already discussed, what is derived data type? Like array is in general a homogeneous type of combination of variables. Like string is also homogeneous type of variable only, but specifically of character type, right? So string is nothing, how we can define a string? String is nothing but a character array. We can, in simple words, we can straight away say that the definition is character array. Now, before starting with exact programming in string, there are some inbuilt functions of string, right? Like I have listed in this PPT. So these are some inbuilt functions. So as we already aware with, there are some inbuilt functions of in C programming language. So as of now, you all have used inbuilt function like printf, like scanf, like we can say other other functions as size already defined in library called as stdio.h, right? Because of which we are including that library at the start of any program. Now, like the same way in for string, to use all these inbuilt function which are there in string, we need to use library called as string.h, right? So with hash include stdio.h, we need to include hash include string.h library. And these are all functions that can be used to compute string or to deal with string related programs. So these are very simple functions which are there. Like for example, the first inbuilt function is std_cat, which is concatenation of two strings. The arguments which should be there for this string function are two arguments we required, the first string and second string. Then we are having str cpy, which is string copy. So first string 2 will be copied to string 1. So string 1 will be the combination of both the string, the copy string. Then copies the second string will be copied to first string. Now second is strlen, which is string length. This is very useful inbuilt function when we are dealing with string related programs, because it computes the length of the string. The function is strcmp, which is string compare. If we need to compare both the strings, if in any program we need to compare two strings to which is required, which is what we can say the necessary computative arithmetic or necessary computation is required to complete that program, then we can use this strcmp. But keep in mind, whenever we are using this string inbuilt functions, always include first that library, which is hash include string.h library. Okay. Now straight away we'll move to I guess you all basically in this internship we are having SET-FE. That's why we have started with the basic concepts of the programming. But only brush up will be there for all concepts, because the main aim of this phase is to increase your competitive coding skill. Okay, so our main focus is on programming related activities. So for this string, the program is find a frequency of characters in a string. Okay, so what will be the necessary steps for this program? First of all, the first step will be we need to initialize all the variables which are required to execute this program, right? Then after initializing all variables, we need to take the input string from a user. Okay, so string may be of any number, any size. Let's say, for example, if suppose the string is RAIT is in Nerul. Okay, so the RAIT is in Nerul. So to store that string, first of all, we need to very precisely initialize the string variable. Okay, whenever we are dealing with the statement type of program or statement, the string is very big. It is very what we can say a good practice to initialize that string variable with the higher number, let's say 500, 1000. So the memory size will be there to store a complete string. Now, after taken value from user of string, let's say RAIT is in Nerul, we need to check, we need to, or we can say we need to take a character from user, let's say to check the frequency of that character in a string. Let's say the character is A, and then we need to check whether that A character is there in that string or not. And if that character is there in that string, then we need to count that character, that how many characters are there in that string. So RAIT is in Nerul. Okay, so RAIT in RAIT A is there. In RAIT is in Nerul. So let's say only one character is there. If we are taking I as a character, then RAIT. So I is I, second I, in third I. Yes, three I's are there in RAIT is in Nerul. Okay, so so this is the actual program that we need to execute. So let's just switch to the execution of this program. Then we'll discuss the other programs. So I'll just we'll just quickly execute that program. Okay. Now, after initializing main, we need to first, as first step is to initialize the variables which are required to execute this program. Okay. Let's say as we are dealing with string, so the variable, how to define that string, it is of character, right? So char, let's say the string name is str, and I am initializing with 1000 indexes. The size of that string is 1000. I require variable of string because I need to check that character is present in that string or not. So I have initialized one more variable as ch. Okay. Now I need to initialize other one more variable as, let's say, int count, to count the number or count the frequency of that character. So I'll be initializing with a count variable, and I'm initializing that variable with 0. Okay, now why 0? Because you all aware with the global and local variables, right? The by default value of local variable is a garbage value. So instead of getting some garbage related thing, it is better to initialize that variable with 0, right? So we have initialized with int count equal to 0. Now we need to take a complete string from user. So to take a complete string, we are just printing that statement on screen. Let's say enter a string. Okay. Now, instead of using scanf, we can use for string the other function, inbuilt functions as getS or fgetS more specifically. Now, what is basically fgetS? If we are storing a string in a memory, then it is better to use fgetS function, because if we are using only getS function, then there is possibility of the runtime error as the buffer overflow type of error or buffer overflow type of warning. Okay, so to avoid that thing, it is better to use fgetS function. Now, what all arguments which are required to use this function? So in this, for to use this function, they require total 3 types of argument. One is this string variable that we have initialized. So as we have initialized str as string, we need to pass that as first argument for fgetS function. Then second fgetS function, the argument required is size of function. Okay, so size of, and in size of we are passing a string variable, which is str variable that we have initialized, and the third argument is stdio, which std in. So we are storing that in a memory, so we are using this std in. Now after storing a complete string in a let's say in a string variable, now we need to take the character for which we need to calculate the frequency. So again, that we are taking from user. So printf enter a character to find its frequency. Okay, as there is only single character, we can use scanf. Now the format specifier of char is %c. So the %c, comma, ampersand ch, because we have initialized that variable as ch. Okay, so with this %c, we have stored that character in memory in variable ch. Just a minute. Okay. Now after storing that value, we need to check whether that the character is the character which is entered by user. So for that, we need to write a for loop. So for, now here we need to deal with index again. So here explicitly I can initialize the variable as, for let's say int I equal to 0. As this is array index always starts with 0. Now specifically for string, as there is no need to take the size of string from user. Okay, that size of string is always varies related, which is completely depend on the size of string which is entered by user. Okay, like let's say for example, if suppose I am the user, I have entered the string as RAIT is in Nerul. Now if you are a user, you can enter string as I am a part of RAIT, or I am a student in RAIT, any string that you can enter, right? So it is that string can be, that the string size is not restricted to any number. Okay, because of which we cannot use that same limitation condition which we have used in array program. Okay, we cannot use the for loop for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. No, we cannot use here in string, right? What we can use in string, we already aware with the last element of any string is which character? A null character, right? So whenever we are dealing with string, always keep in mind the limit for that string is null character. Whatever will be the string always end with null character. Okay, so our limitation, the condition will be the null character. So we are using the same str of I should not be equal to a null character. How null character will represent? This way. Okay, so why we are using str of I? Because we are comparing the value which is stored at that place. Okay, whenever we are dealing with array, we are dealing with index of that array, but here we are dealing with the value which is present at that index. Okay, so I equal to 0, comma str of I not equal to null and I plus plus. Now we need to check what is a condition. We need to check whether that character is a same character which is entered by user or not. So to check that, we need to use if conditional statement. So if ch is equal to str of I. If this is a case, if this is a true, then we are just doing execute this for loop, and after that we just need to print the output statement that printf. In printf, we need to provide the statement that we need to print as an output. Let's say frequency of %c. Why %c? Because I need to print that character which is entered by user. So frequency of %c is, so frequency is in integer format, right? So here I need to specify the format specifier of integer, which is %d. And after this, I need to pass the variables in which we have stored the values. So ch and count. Is this okay with you? Okay. Now we'll just execute this program. Oh, sorry. Okay. So enter a string as say, let's say RAIT is in Nerul. So this is the sentence that I am passing. Okay, and enter character to find frequency. Let's say I, and frequency of I is 3. Okay, so this will this way you can execute the string related programs. Okay, so is this okay with you all? Is there any issue with this program? All of
Ma'am, will you explain that STD in part?
this one, get S?
Yes, that whole part, that whole set.
Okay. Now see here. So see, we are taking this string from user. So enter a string. We are printing that statement for user. So after printing that statement, whatever is entered by user, we need to store in this str string, which we have declared here, right? Now, to store that string, previously we are using a scanf function. For array, we have used scanf, right? And to store a complete string, a complete array in a string, we have used for loop, because there is not only single element. There are multiple elements of array, right? So we have used for loop. But instead of using for loop, there is a function called as fgetS, which store a complete string which is entered by user. Okay, so this is inbuilt function that we can use for string. We cannot use for any other array. This is explicitly for string. Okay, and to use that fgetS function, to execute this function, there are completely 3 arguments are required. Okay, what all 3 arguments are? The first argument should be the string name that we have declared here. Okay, so we have declared string name as str, because of which the fgetS function's first argument is str. Okay, now we don't know the size of string that is entered by user, right?
Yes.
That can be anything. As I have entered RAIT is in Mumbai, you can enter any string. Let's say, for example, Mumbai is beautiful city. Okay, so string can be anything. We cannot restrict the index of particular array, right? So because of which we need to use this size of function, which is also inbuilt function of C. With that, we can use this string. So this is a second argument of fgetS function, which is size of the variable in which we are storing that string. So variable is str, because of which we are using size of str. So this is second argument of this fgetS function. Okay, and this is again the std in. See, we are using stdio, right? Stdio is what? It is a standard input output library, right?
Yes.
That we are using for printf and scanf. All those inbuilt functions. fgetS is also part of stdio function only. Okay. So similarly, there is this inbuilt std_in, which will store a complete string in str string variable. Okay, so this is the syntax of writing fgetS function. So these are three main arguments which are required to pass to execute fgetS function. Is this okay with you?
Yes. Ma'am, why we are not including string.h?
Because we have not used any string.h function. We haven't used so see, string.h function, we haven't used any computative string functions, right? So these are all functions which are there in string.h. There are many other functions as well, but we have not used any of these functions. We have used only stdio function. So because of it, we have only included stdio library.
Means getS and putS functions are under
Also
stdio.
Yes. These are part of stdio library only.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Is there any doubt? Any other student? Is this okay with you all? Okay. Now, so this is simple way to execute string program. Okay. And if we are using, see, there is another way to store a string by using getS. But many times we found that by using getS function, there may be warning like buffer overflow kind of thing. Okay, so to avoid that thing, it is better to use fgetS function to store the string in memory. Okay, is this okay with you all? Okay. Now move to next problem. Now second problem is program to determine whether two strings are the anagram. Now to start with this program, first of all, we need to see what is basically anagram. Right now, anagram is what I have here. I have shown you the just a minute. I have shown you the definition of anagram. So definition is two strings are called the anagram if they contain the same characters. However, the order or sequence of the character can be different. Okay, like for example, if st first string is grab and the second string is brag. So the same letters are there, but with a different order or different sequence. Then these strings are called as anagram string. Is this okay, all of you? This question? This is for your practice purpose. You have to solve this question after this session. Okay. So first of all, what will be the sequence to execute this program? Okay, we'll just discuss that sequence. Okay. Now, to execute this program, first we need to take two strings from user. Okay, let's say first string is grab and second string is brag. Okay. Now, after taking these two strings, we need to check whether each element or each what we can say the value which is stored at that particular index string is present in second string or not. Okay, and this way you need to check for each letter, and then only you can able to, or your final output statement will be those those strings are anagram or not. Okay, so you have to implement this program after this session. Now the next problem is a program to find all permutations of a string. Okay, now to execute this program, permutations what? All other, like let's say the character string is ABC. So permutations will be ABC, ACB, BAC, BCA, CBA and CAB, right? So you need to print all the permutations of that string. So I guess you can able to execute this program. Yes, you need to just take the, you can execute by using your own name as well as an input string. Okay, so just take your name as your input string, and you just need to execute that complete program. The expected output will be all the permutations of your name. So all letters which are there in your name, let's say my name is Kshipra. So how many permutations will be there for Kshipra? Let's say for this ABC, we have total 6 permutations. So for Kshipra, how many permutations will be there? Any answer? Abhishek, can you tell me? Students are writing anything in chat?
7 factorial.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. People are mentioning 7 factorial. Vedant said 7 raised to power 2. I think he wrote that.
Okay.
7. Vedant said 7. I think he's trying to say 7 factorial only.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, yes, right. 7 factorial permutations will be there. So depend on that, you need to write that program. Okay. So basically, you have to build that logical ability in you. Just see what will be the logic to execute this program, and let me know the output of this program. Is this okay with you? Please try yourself. Please try yourself. Let it be wrong, or you will take some time to build that, to write that program. It may take time, but try yourself. Okay. So is there any doubt in array or string? Any student? Yes, anyone? I'll be posting all these practice programs on discussion forum. Okay. And let me know if is there any doubt in the concept of string or array. Yes, anyone? Any doubt?
No, ma'am. People are replying with no. I think they don't have doubts as of now.